Who are one? This video is not about throwing any shades, not implying anything. We are not saying Vybz Kartel is guilty or innocent. We are just talking about the flawed system that is in Jamaica, the judiciary system, and it took Vybz Kartel to show it up. Vybz Kartel to open the eyes of many people who already see it, but no one talk. You see what I say? Look here. This video, as I said before, is only here to show an example, right, on how the loopholes get activated when money is in play, or when certain people from certain echelon of society is being threatened for their freedom or their rights being taken away. That should say rights and privilege. So I am once again putting out the disclaimer. I am not saying that Vybz Kartel and his co-accused are guilty of anything or innocent of anything. I don't know. I cannot sit over here and say that, and that is my honest argument. But I can surely say that the flawed system has put away many innocent and set free many guilty. Justice is not blind in Jamaica. The truth shall set you free. The mind is a beautiful thing. Yeah man, make we talk about it now. The effort Hey, what's up? What's up, my beautiful people? Edge Nation family, wanna big up on yourself. X Nation family, wanna big up on yourself. Blessings. Thanks for your support. Every single person, new people who have been subscribing to my channel, yo, your subscription goes a long way. I thank you for taking the time out, to click the subscribe button, to give a thumbs up, because when you give the thumbs up, the algorithm said this thing is interesting and it pushes it to the forefront, right? When I do this for no money, from me know myself, right? As an adult, I have been in the armed force trying to protect life, right? Serve and protect, right? From yard to abroad, we do it. We've been doing this. So this is not nothing different we are doing. Zane, I want to see the thumbnails. The thumbnail, I want to see Vybz Kartel on there. And we all know that the Privy Council ruled that his conviction should be overturned, right? And squash the whole conviction, right? So we are not going to talk. We're not going to talk for long on Vybz Kartel case, because we don't see what it is already. Okay? What we want to talk about in this video is basically the Jamaica judicial system. And I am not talking about this because I think that Vybz Kartel and his co-accused is guilty. Because I cannot say guilty or not guilty. We have to allow the intellects in that aspect to do what them do and find him innocent or guilty, right? The highest court of the land says the conviction has to be overturned, right? Because of a tainted jury. This jury was trying to bribe the other jurors, the entire jury, right? And this juror was also, trying to bribe a not guilty verdict. Hence, authority says it was tying to the defense, right? It was in favor of the defense. So this is why I am here. I want to talk about our judicial system, right? And not Vybz Kartel case particularly, because there has been a loophole in the system, and Vybz Kartel lawyer exploited it and got him to the Privy Council. So now, no matter what the evidence was or was not, the lawyers who had the case would have known that this loophole exists. Now, the reason why I want to talk about this loophole is not because Vybz Kartel got his conviction overturned. However, it's because Vybz Kartel, had he not have the money to pay the necessary lawyers, he would not have gotten this chance, right? This also means that either the sitting judge, don't know, or he was a part of this collusion to see that the juror did something illegal and did not take action other than continuing asking, hey, is the defense good? Yes, defense good. Is the prosecution side good? Yes, good. Alright, then can we proceed? Yes. But there and then he went wrong. Right? Hence we have this outcome. I'm not going to say negative or positive to this outcome. But if the prosecution decide that they are not just going to let him walk, if the state decide that they are not going to let Vybz Kartel just walk, they are going to have a retrial, then there are so many implications that can come from it. You see, new evidence would have to be presented, and so on and so forth. Now, one of the things that I was looking into is how the Privy Council washed their hands clean of the whole thing, sending the case back to Jamaica, which Vybz Kartel had, already stated that himself and his co-accused were not treated fairly, and he was not getting a fair trial, even though it was their team, right, that had done something to corrupt the trial. This, he said, was orchestrated by his then lawyer, Mr. Tavares Fins, right? And that was about 10 years ago. Now, my people, let's get into a story that I heard when I was a child. There was this group of men who broke into a female's house, or they broke into a house, and the occupant was a female, and they took her out, right? There in that house, these group of men who went in, right, got met up with resistance, and machete was used to chop one of them, right? They were arrested, right, and on murder charge, right, sentenced to how many years in prison, right? It was the same Jamaican judiciary system, and the one that got the chop appeal, and won the appeal. And how did he won? Because when the person chopped, he blocked it with his hand, and the follow through came down, and it seems as if he got two chops, right? When the complainant said he chopped him once, right? And on technical grounds, because the accused had two chops, so the complainant swing once, and the accused got two chops, and he got off the case and win his appeal, right? Win his appeal and came back a road here and live until he was old, until he died. Okay? So there is a flaw in the justice system. You hear them say justice is blind? No. Let me explain for those who don't know. Let me see if I can explain when they say justice is blind, what they mean. So justice is blind would have meant that it sees no color, race, or creed, no ethnicity, right? No religion. So if you commit a crime therein, or if you are accused of committing a crime, you are innocent until proven guilty, number one, and no one can judge you and just say, hey, him a dirty foot man, so him figure jail. So justice in that sense would have been blind, because it would have seen no creed, color, or ethnicity. It will not be prejudice if it was blind. But no. Jamaican justice is one-eyed. You know how I figure that out? Because this case with Vybz Kartel, and he did show up the justice system. The case with Vybz Kartel, right? Whether or not them have evidence put in front of the judge and the jury, and he was guilty, or it could prove that he was guilty, then he still would have gotten away. Just like that man that got two chops with one swing, right? He still would have gotten away, because they know that there are loopholes in the justice system. Now, I have seen innocent people, or people that appears to be innocent, that serve time for things that they did not commit, right? And them serve time because they have no money. There's no money, right? No one would offer them the opportunity of a loophole in the law because they are not wealthy. something have to change. Now, I was scrolling through YouTube and listened to the news, right? And I heard that the lawmakers are trying to close the loophole that Vybz Kartel used to get out. And the judges are saying that they want to try and get rid of jurors. But the reason why the jury was contaminated or corrupted or attempted corrupted, is that such a word? Is because they are human. And if you have one judge, then he could be corrupted too. You see what I say? Now, I pray for Jamaica, you see, because this beautiful place we call home have a lot of work that needs to be done. Over here, so we are doing it. We are talk it, we are trying to educate, we are trying to bring things forward, bring things to the forefront, so that you who can watch and see us will know that, we believe that there is something wrong. Because after 62 years, we are still using the same old laws with no amendment unless it benefits the system. So, if it's a ghetto youth, he might go burn in a prison. But if it's an uptowner, the loopholes them activate. See what I'm saying? As I am saying, I am not inciting anything, but I am stating facts that Jamaica justice system is in shambles. It's not ready. Anyone with the right lawyer and judges could get off at anything. Welcome to Jamrock. This is the Jamaica where we live in now. This is the Jamaica where policeman, policewoman, soldier, the nurse them, the doctor them, the teacher put on uniform or go to the classroom or to protect and to create and guide and protect, right? This is the same Jamaica that appoints leaders that will not make the right decision, such as amending the laws governing our great country. People of Jamaica need to hold the leaders to a standard. Whatever they promise, they must fulfill, they must get done, they must show that they are willing to do whatever they are tasked with. No more mediocrity, no more running behind them as if you are insignificant and they are all important. We are all equal people. Jamaica, most of us would have been Christian and equal under the same God. Them words there no stand for nothing. We no hold them dearly. Come on. It's either you're going to live for living up, or you're going to live to be extinct. You live so that the younger generation will come and eradicate you if you don't set the precedents and fix what it is that we need to fix. I promise you that we as a nation are going down slowly towards damnation. We need to do some things. We need to fix it. That I little bit we may have to say on this. Remember, you want to follow, if you want to support, follow, click the like button, right? Share it, put it on your status, share it with a friend. Alright? And me, I go see you in our next one. Thank you for watch this. Me gone. The mind is a beautiful thing. Yeah man, make we talk about it now. And everything will glitter a gold. Grandpa did say that long time ago. Talking about, like we say now, our aim is to be the best version of ourselves.
More important, the people who are
We have to work towards that every
are
day.
the people who think is against you. Which is more important? Why are we not seeing the effort